Hey folks, welcome back to the XNA Roundup show. This is episode number 24, and I'm your host, Nickthedude. Joining me today is Carlos Rodela from Mevio.com.
What is going on, people?
We're changing up our style a little bit today. We're going to just give you our thoughts on some recent releases to the community game section. Sound good?
Totally, let's do it.
Let's do this. All right, let's get right into it. Our first game is Chalked. It's a third-person strategy game where you run into a building, set a bomb to explode, and then run out and try and stay away from the cops, basically.
Yeah, there's like you're either a good guy or a bad guy,
right? And
you can actually play as either one. So the bad guy is the guy who you're saying like destroys the buildings,
right?
And you can also play as the good guys who are trying to capture this bad guy,
right?
I played as the bad guy and blew up a bunch of buildings, but I was getting caught a lot.
Yeah, I was getting caught too much.
Like, yeah, I was like, I just blew up 2 buildings and whatever. And then when I tried to play the opposite way, I could never catch the guy.
Yeah.
So I love the style.
It's black and white. You can probably see it on screen right now.
Yeah, you're looking at it right now. And it has really cool music. It's like homemade like music, like some guys.
It sounds like a beat.
Like Bobby Farron.
Yeah.
Bobby McFerrin, yeah. So I like the style and definitely the sound of the game. And the idea is interesting. Although setting the bomb is pretty rudimentary, like.
Yeah, it's just press a sequence of buttons and sets the bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you detonate it when you're away from the building. You push A and the building comes down. Nothing really fancy graphics-wise for blowing up the buildings.
Yeah, I thought the graphics. I mean, I thought they could have done a better job actually showing the graphics that they had. I felt like when the building explodes, you barely can even see it.
It's like just going downwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the top-down view was very limited. It was kind of confusing too, because when you go into the building,
oh, that's right. You see the other buildings.
It's actually the top-down view of the building.
Right. Yeah.
And it's kind of disguised, but I would like to have an option to go to that view and kind of see where the guys are coming from, because you can't really see where the cops are coming from and all that stuff.
That is weird, though. When I was in that top view, when you're trying to detonate a bomb in the building, you actually can't see the people, though.
Yeah, you can see
every once in a while they'll run by,
yeah,
because you're getting caught.
Yeah.
Like all over the place. So yeah, playing as the good guy, impossible it seemed like, and playing as the bad guy, impossible. So I guess if it was 2-player, it'd be fun.
Yeah, it definitely needs multiplayer. And another awesome aspect of this game is the menu system. I thought they did a really cool job with the little paper flaps.
Yeah, it was really cool.
It was really cool. So
I love the style, and I think it just needs a little bit of
tweaks
and stuff like that.
Tweaks, yeah.
So definitely cool in my book.
Okay, so next up we're talking about Plows in Hell.
Yes, this is
appropriately
interesting.
Appropriately titled.
Yeah, is it?
It's basically a kind of a tower defense game where you actually play as one of the turrets. I would describe it as. You drive around in a tank and take on the oncoming enemies. You're playing on a sheet of ice in hell,
which is weird.
A bit tenuous at times.
Yeah.
What did you think?
Well, I can see the defense strategy kind of game in comparisons. It's more actiony than that, though, right?
Because you're actually involved. Yeah.
You're involved. You're running around shooting things. The biggest complaint I had in the beginning was when you shoot these enemies that are coming in off of the sides of the screens, there's no effects or even sound effects when you hit them. I know that seems like a small thing, but I'm shooting these enemies and I don't know that I'm really shooting them.
You're not sure if you're making contact.
Yeah, there's like a little, and then the shot that comes out of my little ship or whatever I have, plow.
Plow. Okay.
Right?
Plows in hell.
Plows in hell.
It's a plow.
Wait, plows shoot? Okay, anyways, it's just a direct line. So I don't even feel like the animation. So I mean,
sometimes the line wasn't even going all the way through, like because the snow was lumped up, so you would have to actually get a better vantage point to actually shoot.
The line of sight was kind of weird. So the connection between me and the enemies felt broken in a way, and so that part sucked. I did like the couple things I did like. I like setting a decoy. So you have a main area you're trying to protect, like in a lot of these kind of games. And then you can set up like a fake one. Hey, no, go look over here. And so the enemies coming off the screen will go towards that.
Right.
Then there was the ability to put up your own, another turret.
A turret, that was cool.
Like defense, and I like that too. But in general, I was confused enough. The gameplay confused me too much to enjoy it.
There's a great potential for this game. I love the concept. It's really kind of fresh. I mean, there is tower defense elements, but I think if you can maybe just throw a couple different turrets in there that you can place and different things more. And I'd like the ability to actually pick up the turret once you lay it down.
Oh, and move it around.
And just move it around.
Yeah, because then you realize that all these guys are coming from this other side you forgot.
Right.
Which is kind of what defense games do, you know, the tower defense usually does. The other thing is that there were some power-ups that really kind of confused me as well. Like the heal gun Did you even understand any of that?
Yeah, I tried to use it. It didn't. It seemed like it was a little bit effective, but it was just not effective enough to actually. Right. Like if a guy got right up on you, it was like there was nothing you could do basically.
Yeah. So. One thing, overall interesting, but I think some tweaks.
Definitely. I just want to say too that the graphics were actually really good, but it was the camera was zoomed so far out you couldn't get an appreciation for it.
That's totally true.
And like at the end when you died, they showed a zoom angle, and you would see like, oh my God, these are great 3D models, and all you see when you're playing is
it does seem like it's very spaced out.
Okay, so let's move on. We're going to talk about Light's End, and that is basically an adventure game where you can take the role of any character you come across in the game, which is a really cool concept.
Yep.
It's basically an adventure game. It's almost like interactive fiction, actually. There's I haven't seen any battles or anything like that.
And that's one of my things that I'm hoping for. So like, I think, did I show you this game? I think I did. Or I knew about this game for a while.
You mentioned you wanted to talk about it.
Yeah, I definitely did. And because, I mean, I'm hurting for RPGs on community games. It's killing me. Please. Make a really bad one.
Give this man an RPG.
Hook me up with an RPG.
He's ready.
At Onawa at Twitter. Just let me know when it happens. I am dying for some homemade RPGs. So I haven't seen any battles. I haven't seen any like even QuickTime really events. I mean, there's like pick up the sword and do a couple like hit the buttons to do this type of action. But in general, like he said, it's definitely more of a read through the story and pick the different characters and make them do the things that they're already predestined.
Basically, as far as I can tell, that's the only mechanic of the game is basically you have to make one character interact with a certain other character to advance the story.
Okay, right.
And
so that is the kind of puzzle almost.
Yeah, and you just have to figure out which one to take to which other one, which is cool. Definitely needs a little more, but the story was actually okay.
Yeah, I was actually going to say the beginning of it.
It does get you in, like, yeah, it's actually good. It's like I think the way it sets you up to be expecting other things to happen, like battle and stuff like that. Just the way the game is presented, and that never happens. So even though the game probably would work like this, the way it's presented, it kind of leads you to expect certain other things. So there's kind of a disconnect there.
Yeah, I can see that.
But
I know
it's pretty good. Okay, so let's move on. Last game we're going to look at is Revenge of the Evil Aliens. Great name, by the way.
I know.
And that is basically a top-down shooter. Pretty standard top-down shooter. Little like two-stick shooter, kind of Geometry Warsy. And what do you think?
So this one, we haven't done a drum roll for each one. I feel like we should have done that.
Okay. Next show.
Next show we'll do drum roll. This game I really loved.
Loved it? Awesome.
Yes, and I'll use the word loved. For one, the music in the tutorial was awesome.
The music is really good.
Electronic-y, very, basic kind of stuff like electronica, but I was pumping, and I was like jazzed to get going in the game. So after I did the tutorial, which is, it's pretty easy. It's kind of a shooter. It definitely feels like the Geometry Wars mixed with a traditional shooter, where like here comes the baddies and here comes the boss.
Right.
So you mix those two together, and that's a good combination. I just felt so relaxed playing it. This is almost like a game we talked about on Press Pause, where Droplets. Is it Droplets? Yeah. Where I felt kind of zen about it. For some reason, it just felt because it wasn't a million bad guys coming at me, and the six, the right stick kind of shoot control always makes you feel like you're covered, not like the old school shooters where you're like in trouble. So I felt really good, and the power-ups I liked, especially the rate of fire one. Which is really cool.
That was my big point of fun. Was like so many, like not a ton of different, but enough power-ups to keep you interested. And like, oh, I gotta go get that. Gotta get the longer rate or the longer range of fire was cool, and then more firing rate.
Was one of those brains? There was brains flying around at some point.
It was kind of.
And I was like shooting brains, and they made smaller brains.
Yeah, that's kind of like brain asteroids.
Yeah, I don't get
Aster brains.
And so anyways, overall, I just found it really fluid and relaxing, and I probably will get this game. Okay. Like I'm gonna go get this one.
Cool.
Out of all the ones that we talked about, yep, that's the one I'll probably get. I want to get Light's End, and I'm hoping that like near the ending it gets there's like some sort of more involved thing.
I don't think. I think that's pretty much it. All right, folks, that is our show for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you, Carlos, for joining us.
I was happy to be here.
You can get show updates at twitter.com/XNA Roundup and
twitter.com/Onawa for me, and twitter.com/PressPauseShow, the video game show that I think someone might have been
special guest right here. All right, folks, thanks a lot. We'll see you next week.